Hey guys, it's Andrew from Stockmoney Lizards. Hope you're doing great. Today we'll jump into Bitcoin price action and then I want to discuss some ETH BTC insights that I was just looking at. For that, guys, if you haven't yet joined our newsletter, we are on issue number 6. Subscribers are increasing, information is good. We're providing secret coins that we're looking at, and we're giving more insights into the technical analysis aspect of crypto in general and providing a macro update about what's going on. If you're looking for a way to make your space a little bit more personalized, grab yourself a Bitcoin Lite or any other light that you might want if you're into music or other stuff. And if you want to design your own, just message me on this start chat over here. Okay, so I'm quickly going to go through some findings. Recently we had discussed that normally what happens is Bitcoin starts its bull market when it comes back down to the 20-week moving average and when it is respected, and we haven't yet seen that. We had the first touch over here, but that was just the candle, so I expect it to come back down again in the close future. I've just put this line over here and this line over here, which is the 29th of May and the 31st of July as possible days where we might come down to the moving average. And the reason why I chose those days is because I just went to this point over here, which was where we had broken above the moving average back in 2020, and that took us 126 days, which is from here to this line 126 days, and from this level over here is about 175 days ish, 182 days, and I just marked that over here. Keep in mind though that the moving average was not respected in this particular case, and it actually went below it and was rejected by it on the bounce. So I don't think that we have 182 days. For me it's looking more like this move over here, where in 120 days we should know if the price of Bitcoin will come back down to the moving average, which is currently at about 21.7. so the longer we hang around in these areas, the higher the moving average will continue to go. So hopefully by the 29th of May would be in the region of about 23-24k, and maybe in that time span we'll make a drop down to those levels, but that's looking a bit far into the future. It's just basically providing some guidance on when the drop might come. Okay, so I just want to have a look today at the ETH BTC chart, mainly because a lot of people are holding altcoins, and I don't see the point to hold altcoins unless you're in alt season, and it doesn't look like we're going to be in alt season for now. And the reason is because the ETH BTC chart remains bearish for me. As you can see, what I've drawn now here is a downward falling wedge pattern with the support line and resistance line, where you have 1, 2, 3, 4 touches on the resistance line and 2 on the support line. And basically what this is meaning is that we can continue bouncing around from top to bottom with this concave kind of format. We discussed falling and rising wedges a lot in the earlier videos, so I encourage you to go back and check out the teachings on that. However, if we do break out of this falling wedge, then there's upside potential, and that could be the start of altcoin season. However, for that to happen, we need to break out of this downward wedge. I also think that there is possibility that this wedge could actually break down further, and if price goes down below 0.061, then this pattern becomes invalidated and we can keep on going down. I had found a chart back in 2009, which is the British pound versus the USD, because it was showing a really similar pattern to what Ethereum is proving today. Basically what happened in 2009 is the British pound was low against the USD, and then it started to rise, and what happened was you started to print higher highs until you came to its ultimate high over here. Your lows started to also increase, all was very good, and then so this is represented by this arrow over here. And the ETH BTC chart is something similar with higher lows and more or less with higher highs if you remove this one over here, but with an upward trend to the ultimate high over here. And then what followed was something similar to the British pound versus the USD. It went down, it found a base at the same level over here. So it went down, found a base in the same-ish level over here, made a slight bounce with a lower high, made a slight bounce with a lower high compared to this, and then sort of it went down to make new lows compared to its previous lows prior. New lows compared to the previous prior. And then it had a nice rally to the upside, Ethereum versus Bitcoin, and then the British pound had a nice rally to the upside, almost touching its previous high, rally coming to the upside, almost touching its previous high, and then sort of it starts to, at least Ethereum starts to go down versus BTC, and the British pound started to go down versus USD. So what happened after this was we went down back to these levels. So so went down back to these levels. So if we do follow this pattern, then I imagine we're gonna at some point come back down to 0.055, and we've been mentioning this. And what happened after was you got a slight bounce lower than the previous, and then it just sort of went down. Now there's no point really going further than this, because obviously these are two different currencies, it's not the same. However, as you can see, the trend is down from there, you know, so, and the trend is down to levels of this gap over here. So I imagine that if this is repeated, we should see ETH come down to 0.36 or 0.45. We've mentioned this in the past, and it could happen. Also, if you are holding altcoins, and sort of I do hold one or two altcoins, not a lot, but I do, I think that if you look at the ETH BTC chart, which is the biggest altcoin versus Bitcoin, what you can see is that since 2018 it's just been down. So basically, yes, you've had opportunities to trade. So if you sold Ethereum for Bitcoin up here, and if you bought Ethereum for Bitcoin down here, you know, you made some good trades. But if you are just a holder and you just want to hold a coin, then you can arguably say that it was not healthy to own Ethereum past 2018, because today it will get you less Bitcoin. And yeah, I have this chart open. This is basically the DXY. As we know, it was rejected at the 20-week moving average, and it's looking like it wants to keep on going down, and will hit our first target. Why? Because it is below this base over here. So this has now become resistance, so I expect it to continue going down, which is more or less a good thing for Bitcoin. Yeah, so before I just jump into traditional markets, I just want to show you that besides ETH BTC from 2018 going down, Ripple since May 2017 has just gone down. So the Ripple you held in Bitcoin is now can now buy you way less Bitcoin than it did in 2017. So this is bearish to hold Ripple, in my opinion. If you look at Cardano 2018, it's just been going down. Yes, you had a good opportunity to trade, however the coin itself is going down. Litecoin has been a mess since 2013 versus Bitcoin, it is just going down. Dogecoin was going down since 2014 all the way down to March or February of 2021, and the reason why it went up was because Elon Musk supported it. So if your altcoin does find an Elon Musk kind of fan, then yes, it could break new all-time highs versus Bitcoin. Decentraland, this is the coin that I hold, very small amount, but this is the coin that I like. It's basically in metaverse. It too has just been going down, but it broke above its previous high, and now we're coming to an interesting position, because it's coming down to the previous high over here. So I'll see what happens with that, but essentially it's still down. Chainlink, interestingly enough, in 2018 went up versus Bitcoin. I can't really explain this. However, so basically in 2018, if you held Link, you still will make more Bitcoin selling your Link today, which is good. However, the fate of this coin is probably to come back down to these levels over here, which I'll make a mark. Tezos, I don't know if you know this coin. I was a supporter of it back in the ICO stage. I think it's a scam today, but yeah, it's gone down versus Bitcoin. Gold itself, since 2010 has just been going down versus Bitcoin. So it's like sometimes it's a no-brainer. And now this is the Bitcoin dominance chart. As you can see, we had spoken about this in the past, where we made a low, high, came back down, and now we're printing a nice W pattern that has the support of 1, 2, 3, 4, 4-ish strong Heikin-Ashi candles, and the reversal candle Heikin-Ashi green also. Once we do get above the 47, 48 mark, 49 mark, things could get really interesting, and I think that will coincide with Ethereum breaking down. Might be a slow breakdown if we remain in this wedge. If we go below this wedge, then I imagine it's gonna take a move like what we just discussed with the British pound versus the US dollar. So I got this, by the way, from just trying to analyze rounding tops, and this looks a lot like the situation that we're in at the moment. If you look at it, don't know why it's not zooming in. Even in this one, it goes up, makes a new low, tries to meet the top that it once hit, keeps on going down, finds support at this level. So I think we are somewhere in this region over here. We'll probably hit this neckline support over here. So this is the neckline over here. So we'll probably hit at some point this level, make a nice bounce-ish, but print another lower high, and then it will start maybe its journey downwards. So this is what I think is likely to happen with the Ethereum chart, which basically means that the altcoin market is more or less bearish versus Bitcoin. And that's more or less what I think about the ETH BTC chart. Quickly, guys, the S&P looks good. Why? Because we're coming out of a downtrend. We're making higher lows, we're making higher highs, breaking previous swing highs, and now the next target is the 4235 region. So one area of resistance that we need to get above is this level over here. Once we do get above it, then probably the upside that is coming in the S&P will be significant. However, we'll keep track of this as sort of time passes. Finally, Bitcoin on the monthly looks really healthy. 3, 4 green Heikin-Ashi candles. Look what normally happens with Bitcoin after it gets an extended period to the downside. It tends to like to move up. If you ignore these 4 or 5 red days and you go back to 2013, it had an extended period of downside, and then green more or less all the way up. So there's no reason to believe that this is not the bull market. There's no reason to believe that prices won't go up over the coming weeks and months. At the moment, we're just in a bit of a corrective period, which is totally fine, because at the end of the day, we are still trying to see if and when we're going to come back down to this moving average, and if this moving average will be respected, then that will probably be the start of the new bull market with certainty. Cool, so this has been a stock money update for the week. It's a bit on the longer side. We just wanted to go into a bit of charts today, different types of charts. Please sign up to our newsletter, guys. We're preparing some really nice stuff for you. Also, it will help and support us, continue to give you really good content. Please follow us on Twitter if you don't follow us. And if you would like a light please go ahead and get yourself a like. Thanks guys, have a good one, stay safe.